Hi friends, acquaintances, loved ones. Thanks for coming to this video. I usually don't do this kind of stuff as one of my biggest fears is kind of speaking out. I don't really have a fear of speaking per se, but just sharing my views with others because I'm a people pleaser and I don't like being a notion of discomfort, or just don't like the fact that someone could dislike me because of my views. But I'm overcoming that fear today because I want to talk about the injustices that our country is experiencing today. And to do so, I want to talk about humanness and how we need to come to realize it again. So, to start, I want to kind of outline the privileges that I have. Of course, as you can see, I'm a white female who lives in a upper middle class area, who's Catholic, and I've never really experienced any discrimination from my religion, from my gender yet, or from the color of my skin. And because of that, I have been able to pursue an education in engineering, which has been amazing so far. I want everyone to have this opportunity. And that's why I kind of wanted to talk today, because everyone knows about the Black Lives Matter movement, but a lot of people don't really understand what it means, because you hear like, well, all lives matter. Well, the Black Lives Matter movement is not disowning the fact that all lives matter, because of course all lives matter. But there's a verse in the Bible that talks about leaving the 99 to help the one, and I want to share that verse with you today. And I'm sorry for those who are not religious. I'm not trying to offend or anything, but my faith means a lot to me, so I really want to share that perspective with you. So this is what it says in Matthew's account of Jesus, verse 12. It says, "What do you think? If a man owns 100 sheep, and one of them wanders away, will he not leave the 99 on the hills and go to look for the one that wanders off? And if he finds it, truly I tell you, he is happier about that one sheep than about the 99 that did not wander off. In the same way, your Father in heaven is not willing that any of these should perish." Your Father in heaven is not willing that any of these should perish. But the one that wandered off, the one that is standing out right now, the one that needs our help, that's who we're calling attention to right now. That's why Black Lives Matter is important. All lives matter, that's true. But we need to look towards those whose lives are in danger right now. So think about that as a new perspective. And that might make you uncomfortable to think about systemic racism and the norm not satisfying a lot of people. Use that discomfort. Don't shut it down, because being uncomfortable is what creates change. And that's what we need right now. Because in this world of evolving technology, with humans being smarter, we've lost a lot of contact with our humanness, and I think that gives a lot of voice to what our problems are today, that we focus on these issues about fiscal and monetary policy and like supporting businesses and not paying taxes, and it takes away from human life. Like we're thinking so much about these political issues, we're losing sight of why these politics were here in the first place. Like, America, the Constitution of America, came to be because our founders felt that we were not getting the rights that we as humans deserved. And now the humans in our society are feeling crushed and voiceless. So the world once again is calling for a change, a revolution. We need a refocusing on our humanness. Because when we do that, we put empathy back at the forefront. When approaching things of crime, we put the mental aspects first, and we put mental health problems first, which is so huge. The cops that have been destroying life, there's probably a mental reason behind it. And what about crime? Why the justice system is put in place because we're scared of crime and murder. But a lot of that happens because of mental issues or a feeling of oppression that is established because of a system that is not supporting the voiceless. When people are full of fear, full of uncertainty, full of helplessness, they do anything to feel important, noticed. So we just took a minute and recognized the mental degradation in our country. I think a lot of the problems here would change. I'm someone who really wants to learn. I still have a lot to learn about these issues, and I'm really trying my best to. And I'm thankful for all those people on social media who have been posting things not from a news platform, but just good information that I found really helpful in order to find my voice to talk about these things. So I want to learn more. And I want to learn from other cultures because learning about different cultures is awesome. It's so cool just to hear about what other people do, how our lives are connected to one another's. It's really beautiful. Everything is so divisive now that we barely take a minute to recognize what's beautiful about the other people that we're talking to. It makes me really sad because there's a lot of beauty in the human race everywhere. So I'm talking about Black Lives Matter because I want to change, and I want to learn from these people that have been oppressed, even though I am privileged. I can make a difference by uniting with those who feel like they don't have a voice, because that's powerful. And for those of you who've known me for a really long time, just know that I haven't changed at all. I am still the same exact person. It's just that now I have the courage to speak out about it. Now is the time for me to use my voice to help the voiceless, just as my faith has always taught me to do. I'm speaking about this now because while there's a lot we can do on the legislative level that needs to be done, that can change, there's that systemic change that needs to happen, there's also a lot of internal change that needs to happen. So I really encourage you, after you hear these words, to sit down, write your thoughts out, think about how you feel about racism and why you feel that way, or what privileges do you have that lead to this mindset. And I know that I'm missing a lot here, but these are my initial thoughts, and I'm here because I want to change thought processes. I want to change our outlook, because then, with realization and understanding, empathy and thinking, that's when we can change the system.